near the far wall, the lamp at his elbow a meagre aid against the larger gloom. His blonde head remained bent over his reading material as he said, "Leave." Michael yanked open a drapery as he passed. Sunlight flooded the oriental carpet, illuminating motes of floating dust. "Let someone in here to clean up," he said. The air smelled of old smoke and stale eggs. "God damn it!" Alistair cast down the newspaper. A decanter of brandy stood uncorked by his elbow, a half-empty glass beside it. "I told Jones I was not at home." "That excuse would be more convincing if you ever left." It looked as though Alistair had not slept in a week. He took after their late father, as fair as Michael was dark, and normally he inclined to bulk. Not lately, though. His face looked alarmingly gaunt, and shadows ringed his bloodshot eyes. Some wit had once dubbed his brother the Kingmaker. It was true that Alistair had a gift for wielding power, political and otherwise, but if his enemies had looked on him now, they would have laughed from relief as much as from malice. This man did not look capable of governing even himself. Michael pulled open the next set of drapes. Not for a very long time, not since his childhood, spent as a pawn in their parents' games, had he felt so helpless. Had his brother's ailment been physical, he might have cured it. But Alistair's sickness was of the soul, which no medicine could touch. As he turned back, he caught his brother wincing at the light. "How long since you've stepped outside? A month? More, I think." "What difference?" This being the 9th or 10th occasion on which they'd had this exchange, the impulse to snap was strong. "As your brother, I think it makes a great deal of difference. As your doctor, I'm certain of it. Liquor is a damned poor trade for sunshine. You're starting to resemble an undercooked fish." Alistair gave him a thin smile. "I will take that under advisement. For now I have business to attend." "No, you don't. I'm handling your business these days. Your only occupations are drinking and stewing." With his harsh words, Michael hoped to provoke a retort. Alistair had ever been mindful of his authority as the eldest. Until recently, such jibes would not have flown. But all he received in reply was a flat stare. "Damn it. Listen," he said. "I am growing extremely concerned for you." Christ, it required stronger language. "Last month I was worried. Now I'm damned near frantic." "Curious." Alistair looked back to the newspaper. "I would imagine you have other concerns to occupy you." "There's nothing in the papers. I checked." "Ah." Alistair lowered the copy of the Times and looked dully into the middle distance. In his silence he resembled nothing so much as a puppet with its strings cut, damned unnerving. Michael spoke to break the moment. "What was this note you sent me?" "Ah, yes." Alistair pinched his nose, then rubbed the corners of his eyes. "I did send that, didn't I?" "In your cups, were you?" The hand dropped. Alistair's glare was encouraging. "Quite sober." "Then explain it to me. Some nonsense about the hospital budget." Michael opened the last set of curtains, and in the process discovered the source of the smell. A breakfast tray abandoned on the floor. Jones had been wrong. Alistair had not touched his plate of eggs. The maids were probably too frightened to retrieve it and too fearful to tell Jones so. "Whoever told you that we were lacking funds was misinformed," he said, as he turned back. Devil take these gossips. He should never have let that journalist into the hospital, but he'd assumed that the article would discuss the plight of poverty, the need for legal reforms. Instead, the reporter had fixated on the spectacle of a duke's brother personally ministering to the dregs. Ever since, the hospital had been overwhelmed by all manner of unneeded interest, bored matrons raised on tales of Florence Nightingale, petty frauds hawking false cures for every ailment under the sun, and above all, his brother's political opponent.